Okay, welcome again to Flat Earth Convention in Amsterdam. With me today we have Gary John. He's the man I was in contact with to get into this convention and been accompanying me in the last few weeks. So it's a pleasure to be here, Gary, and thank you for inviting everyone.
Well done for making the effort to be here as well. So well done.
Good, and it's been a worthwhile effort, I think, from what I've seen so far. The people here are great, and the atmosphere is phenomenal. Tell me a little bit about your role over here. What do you do? What is your job in this conference?
Okay, I've obviously been one of the co-organisers, and today I'm actually the host.
Okay. Good, good. And besides that, you made all the reservations and all the registration and kind of set this up. So tell me a little bit about what is your motive to create all this? Okay, where is your inspiration? Where is your I don't know creative spirit to make this thing happen in real life?
Well, what happened is I did the UK convention last year, and it was to basically connect people. Because you can go to little meets and it's great, but when you actually get the likes of Jaren and Leslie Dave and Paul on the plane, when you get them in one room and Iru and whoever is here, and you see the people here, they're all chatting, they're all connecting. Certain people have met today for the very first time. Why? Because we put on a convention. So when people start knocking, what's the point of down a convention? We've learned it all before. Well, one, there's always little things being involved and ways of thinking. But it's not the actual content of the convention, the presentations. It's actually the connections that are built.
The actual meeting between the people,
exactly.
Right? And it's like if you take this aside from TV shows or radio shows that you only speak, you get over here kind of reaction, a simultaneous reaction and action between people, right?
Yeah, exactly, and that's the powerful thing because obviously I did the UK last year. I went to Denver as well, and that was incredible. And I went to the UK convention a few weeks ago, and now obviously we've done this. So sometimes I'm just an attendee, and sometimes I'm actually one of the main players. That's the way of putting it, but only only from a point of view of putting it on. But if we don't do it, is somebody else going to do it? So it's just...
No, I don't think so, actually, because I think that everyone that comes into Flat Earth, he kind of decide himself if he wants to be an activist, what kind of field he wants to be involved with, okay? And you probably chose to be in a convention organization from some reason. I guess it's fits your character or something like that, right?
Yeah, I mean, I have got some experiments that I'm carrying out. They're only very low key, so it's not really worth discussing because that's not my main thing.
Yeah.
Like for instance, tomorrow I'm going to be involved with the Global Eye Tour reference to activism, but that's again not something I'm, I do it now and again, but I wouldn't do it. But to do the convention and actually be the host and all the trouble, all that hard work that goes with it, it seems to be something that I enjoy. If I'm good at it or not, only you can tell as being in the audience, but there's a lot of work goes into this, a hell of a lot, and a lot of stress. I mean, that's one at that point we were going to have the Sunday as well, and we were not getting the numbers, so we thought, well, we're going to have to pull the plug on the whole thing. We then saw enough interest on the Saturday to keep it, but not the Sunday, and here we are, and it's 140 people. Even though they're not always in the room, and they're not even here, some of them, 140 people have said, yes, we want to come.
I will give my professional perspective on that, and I'll say that you're doing a really great job. And I'm actually used to produce events in my past, and from what I'm seeing over here, well done, Gary, well done. Anyway, and one last question that we are all interested in our show. As you know, this is a show that we are producing in Israel. It's called ESH News. And we kind of have this vision or inspiration that a lot of the awakening on Flat Earth will happen through Israel in the next few months or years or whatever. Tell me, what do you expect for Flat Earth in the next few years, and do you think Israel is going to be involved with that?
Do you think I'll be involved in it? Oh yeah, even though I sometimes want to do other things as well, so it's obviously a pressure on my time. Regardless of how active I am in Flat Earth, I'm always going to be, I wouldn't necessarily call myself a Flat Earther per se. I would actually say that I believe that we do not live on a spinning globe, of which the most thing, not that we're into models, but the thing that fits most appears to be the Flat Earth. And you mentioned about Israel, and I'm not an expert on about Israel, but one of the things I do know is it seems to be everything appears to be, it's going to emanate from there. Yeah. It seems. Mm-hmm. So I say seem as in that's what I'm picking up and talking to people, but I'm not an expert on it, but it does seem that you are going to be maybe at the root of what's going to change.
Give me like an optimistic view for the future. Okay, how do you think like flat Earth is gonna evolve and get to the general public and get to the general, I know, truth of the actual truth? You know, are we gonna see this in the next few years or so?
I think you'd have to almost have like a tipping point. You'd have to have a point where all of a sudden people are starting to ask questions, and I think you need to have somebody really make a major, and I mean a seriously major mistake in NASA, or, or somebody senior come out and say, look guys, you've all been hoodwinked, and it's a prominent person, and then you've got to have another load of people to back that up and say, yeah, I was also there, and yes, I agree with that. And you have to have a crescendo. You can't have the odd person, like the odd actor coming out and saying, yeah, I believe in the flat Earth. You need a crescendo. You need a domino effect, because if you don't get a domino effect, most people would just assume that what they've been told is true.
And you need people, and you need to be active, right? This is the main thing, right?
Yeah. And that's the thing, you see, you don't have to be in flat Earth and do activism, or you have to be put on conventions. You could just literally just attend these things, or you could literally do, just go to flat Earth meets, or you could just talk to people on the street. We all can come at it from a different way.
Gary, it's been a pleasure talking to you. It's been a pleasure to be a part of this convention. Thank you very much, and we will continue on. And of course, we'll keep you up to date about ESH News.
And it'd be lovely to hear your thoughts at the end of today to see what how it's come across to you, because obviously we appreciate you being here. So thank you.
Okay, thank you. Thanks. Thank you. Okay, hello again, everyone. We are here with Didi. I've been in contact with her to get into this convention, and she welcomed us over here in this nice desk we have over there. Didi, how are you?
I'm great now. So we've been going for half a day, so I'm feeling a bit more relaxed.
Relaxed, not tired, right?
Yeah. Tired, but there's no sleep in Flat Earth convention, so that's fine.
Okay. Where are you coming from, Didi?
I'm from Belgium.
Great, great. And tell us, what do you do over here in this convention? What is your role? What is your position? What do you do?
Position is a strange word. Yeah. I'm controlling most of, because I did the website, I do the tickets, I did the organizing, the venue, and I'm helping Gary, and he's helping me, but I like to be in control, so I'm the control freak of the convention, let's call it that.
And what is like your inner fire that kind of like enlightens you to do this thing? What is your motivation to do that?
Making people happy at the end of the weekend. Just because yesterday I was looking around at the campsite, and there was so much hugging going on, and people being grateful, and that's why I do it for. So people make new friends they never had before.
It's a worthy cause. Be proud of that. Yeah. Anyway, about this convention over here, I see that it goes along pretty well. Do you have a special, besides like organizing the thing, do you personally have a special thing that you are more involved in Flat Earth, special fields, special interest?
I've been in FE Corps for a couple years now, and I try to help as many people as I can. So I do some of the research work. I went to Balaton in Hungary to support the guys. If anybody of the team needs my help, I try to help as much as I can in the background. I don't like to be the face on the...
Oh, okay. No, that's good. We need people in the background. Nobody likes to be in the front. It's okay. It's pretty fine. Besides that, we are over here broadcasting this show to Israel and the entire flat world, but we kind of like have this vision that something is going to come out of Israel pretty soon. Have you heard anything about Israel, or do you wish anything for the Israeli people that they're kind of like starting to be interested in flat Earth?
I don't know much about Israel, and the things I do know are presented to me and give me a very strange idea how the country looks like. But because I met you guys and you're nothing like I imagined, so it's great. But it's something I see in all the conventions I go. It's so many people coming, and we all been afraid to go certain places because people told us it's not safe in Israel, it's crazy there. But then you meet the people, and we're all the same. We're all just friendly, normal people.
We haven't arrived over here on camels, right?
No camels, no craziness.
Anyway, it's been a pleasure over here, and just one final question about what do you see like in your optimistic view the future of Flat Earth? Is it gonna erupt and be influential all over the world? Is it gonna be like people are gonna see it as a true thing? What do you think is gonna happen in the next few years?
They will never allow that, so. I think we're already pushed it too far, and I think any moment now they will squeeze it more. The censoring and the YouTube is an example of it. Yeah. Trying to stop conventions, make people not like each other, so it's already being pushed back.
Did you get any kind of like rejection or kind of like intervention with this convention over here?
Yeah, we have a lot of people calling people involved here trying to say that they shouldn't be supporting having a flat Earth convention. And
Like the venue place, they told the venue not to hold this.
it's with the venue, it's with the campsite, it's with people coming here. I'm getting emails, I'm getting a lot of hate mail, and so having the people here smiling makes it worthwhile. All the hate I get the months before we do this thing.
See, I'm smiling, so everything is good, I guess.
It's great.
Thank you very much, Didi. It's been a pleasure. You're a lovely host over here, and you're doing a great job. Thank you very much, and we'll see you further on in this convention.
Thank you for coming all this way and representing one of the 15 countries that's here today. So 15? Yeah.
Okay, thank you very much. It's been a pleasure. See you soon.
Thank you.
Bye-bye. Hello, and we're going up with Paul on the plane over here. He's the partner of Roxanne that we talked to her earlier. And actually, I've been in his lecture like an hour ago. It was fascinating, intriguing, great speaker, and great presentation. And it's nice to be here in the Flat Earth Convention. I hope that you feel that too.
Yeah, this is a great venue here at the it's at the library here in Amsterdam. So it's only about a 10 or 12-year-old building or something like that. So the facilities are really nice. Yeah. And yeah, Gary and Didi, who put on the show here or the convention, have done a great job for sure. It's been a lot of fun.
Tell us a little bit about yourself, please, Paul. Where are you coming from? How did you get to Flat Earth? And what motivates you to come over here and give those awesome lectures?
That's what my wife asks all the time. What motivates you? I'm from the United States. I live up in the state of Washington, so up in the Pacific Northwest. But it was late 2016, early 2017. That I started putting myself out there. My wife came home one day and said something like, did you know that there's people out there that think the Earth is flat? And I had a chuckle about it. The first thing I thought of was pictures from space. How can anybody think that in today's world? We have these pictures from space, and we had a laugh or whatever, and went about it our business. But a couple of days later, it was still in the back of my mind, and I was just really curious. How can anybody think that? With today's technology and satellites, and we went to I had already questioned the moon at that point, but. So I started researching that particular subject and learning, how they create these images from space, and that's where I spent a lot of time that first year. I produced a video series called Faking Space, where we kind of broke down all of these images we get from all these satellites of the Earth, and we find out that they are anything but real photographs. And so that started, the snowball effect of, going through, the whole process.
And usually, people who deciding to get involved with Flat Earth, they're choosing some kind of area, let's say media, or putting on conventions, or being activist on the street, whatever. What did you choose, and why?
Yeah, I've always kind of produced videos just for just for family and big events and birthdays and anniversaries and vacations, kind of video diary. So I had a little bit of experience. Just creating a video. So I started doing the research and, connecting, collaborating with other people, and started a video series. And so I became a content producer, and I got the chance to have a radio show, and, with Truth Frequency Radio, that came about. And so, kind of it just expanded things from there, and I spent a lot of time talking about NASA. I talked about the World Space Agencies, and then I connect with FE Core group and all of the experiments and tests that they're doing, and making sure that I get the word out there as much as I can, so people are aware that there is a very large and growing group of people that are questioning the mainstream narrative when it comes to the shape of the world and how everything works. And I feel compelled to be a part of that. I don't want to be. I need to be able to tell my kids that I didn't just sit silent while this whole thing happened.
Or sit behind the keyboard in your Facebook, right?
That's right. That's right. So I got asked to start presenting, and this is my 5th presentation this year. I've got another one in Dallas coming up in November at the Flat Earth International Conference there. So this is kind of the year of conventions for me, and this is the 4th different presentation I've given this year. So I'm just kind of making it happen as I go, I guess.
And you're doing a great job. Just give us a little bit of optimistic or non-optimistic, whatever view for the future for the Flat Earth as you see it. Okay, does it have like a point? Is it gonna reach like a point that is gonna be like a common truth to everyone? What do you think?
No, I don't. Unfortunately, I don't share that highest level of optimism when it comes to this. I think it's definitely growing. The more and more people are becoming involved. The mainstream is covering it. That we're seeing it at conversations. People are waking up all over the place. I think I think it's going to be an uphill battle, though. I still think we're going to have, we have decades and decades, if not centuries, of programming that the large population has to go through, deprogramming, to get through. And so to say that this is going to be a common truth, I think we've got a ways to go. But, we've got to keep doing what we're doing and continue to spread the word. And hopefully people will start waking up.
Hallelujah. One last thing. We here in Israel, we are starting this news broadcast, and we are doing all kinds of other things. We have some kind of like awakening. Do you have anything that you thought might be in mind that maybe Israel is related regarding its history, is related to this flat Earth, and maybe this progress that we're experiencing over here in flat Earth?
Yeah, well, it's encouraging to hear that there's a large awakening happening, and I'd like to think that that's happening all over the world. It's not just unique to that area, but obviously that part of the world is very significant when it comes to our history, when it comes to religion and spirituality. I'm a Christian. The Holy Land is something that is first and foremost, and the history there is so rich, and so I think you'd have to deduce that something big is going to happen there, because I do believe that we are created. I believe of intelligent design. I believe Yahweh, Father God, created this place. I believe it's enclosed. I'm a biblical creationist when it comes to the world, 6-day creation. And so hearing that is going on, where, Yeshua walked and talked, as far as the Bible goes, that's exciting stuff. And so I don't know what that means, but I'm going to be watching that really close.
We are the junction, remember that. Just the junction, okay? Just the junction, and everything from there is happening for, in a natural way.
That's right.
Okay, thank you very much, Paul. It's been a pleasure, and have fun in the convention. See you soon.
Thank you. Thanks for having me. Yeah, thanks for being here. All right.
Shorter.
Okay.
All right, so I'm in a big thrill right now. I'm here having Jeranism over here, and for me personally, it's a big thing because I'm following this guy for about 2 years or so, and he actually inspired me to start my own programs and to do my own things. And so is lots of people in Israel probably sending their regards to dear Jeren over here. How is it like over here in the convention in Amsterdam? Did you have fun?
I had a great time. Yeah, thanks a lot. Hopefully everybody gets to see it. It should be online. It's on my channel, so you'll be able to watch my presentation there. I got cut a little bit short. Happens. It goes with the territory, but I've enjoyed it and enjoyed the stay here. It's been awesome.
Tell us, Jeranis, I'm sure that people would like to know lots of things that you do. They probably do know, but what do you think about a little bit about the future? Let's say the near future, maybe the distant future. Do we have hope to spread on the word of flat Earth, to get some kind of change over here?
I think so. I think we need more people doing the same thing that I'm doing, making videos, talking truth. I believe in free speech, so I think people should get to their computers and while you still can, while you can get away with it, while YouTube allows it, just speak your truth. Go out and investigate yourself, do some tests, do some experiments, and see for yourself what you think the Earth is. For me, I'm convinced at this point of what I believe the Earth is, so my future is a little undetermined, but it's going to be new and exciting things, and I'm just going to kind of let things come to me as they do. I didn't know 5 years ago that I would be at this conference in Amsterdam. If you would have told me that, I would have said you were crazy. But now that I'm here, in 10 years from now, I probably won't be doing this, these conferences, because I hope to be doing new things and finding new truths, searching out and exposing liars and deceptions everywhere else.
Enough from that. You got vaccinations and G5 and whatever. Yeah, just choose. I told everyone.
I'll be fit for the rest of my life if
I'm telling everyone that I have a place in my life only one conspiracy theory. More than that, I have children, family, all of that. Yeah, so only one. Now, one question. Our program is called ESH News.
Very
ESH kind of like represents beside flat Earth in Hebrew, it represents the fire. Okay, that got us into that. Some kind of like inner fire that motivates us to do this kind of like research and films and whatever we do actively. What is your fire? Where does it come from? What do you think?
Yeah, it comes from a position of people I think deserve to know the truth, and everything that I see in the media and everything that comes across the movie screen it seems to be all lies to me, and I think it's unfair. I think people deserve the truth. So what I do is I research and try and uncover some of these things. And then I just sit in front of a computer and at my house in front of a webcam and try and tell people. and I think everyone else should do the same thing, because I learn a lot from other people and their research, and always do your own research. Don't trust what I say. Go out and do your own research, because that's the only way you can feel it yourself inside your soul.
You just told me do your own research. It's amazing. It's like in the video. Anyway, yes, the same. Anyway, just one last question. As you know, we got a big crowd of fans of you in Israel.
Thank you.
Yes, and we really appreciate all the work you do. And actually, I learned media, so your kind of like media is really appealing. How minimal it is, it's still like appealing and aesthetic from my view. Okay, forget like the content for a second. Now, any words for our people in Israel of I know your own mind from what you know Israel? Give them some hope, whatever.
As far as for their personal journeys, I mean, I just think people need to do whatever makes them feel comfortable. For me, when I first started making videos, I didn't want my face to be on screen, so that was hard. My wife told me make videos, and I said, I don't want to do that. But I heard like Mark Sargent's Flat Earth Clues, and I saw how he just shows images and then talked. I said, okay, I can do that. I can just talk behind images. And so I started with that, and over time, slowly I started being okay with people getting my face on camera. I don't like it a lot, but I do it when I can. But really, I enjoy what I do. That's what I think is important for people to do. I enjoy putting together some research, some slides, and then hitting that go live button and sitting there with my microphone. And really, it's like I'm talking to myself. I'm revealing some of my research, but at the same time, people enjoy it. And then because they enjoy it, I do it again. So I think anybody can do that.
Regarding the wife stuff, I got divorced before I discovered Flat Earth. This is my lucky thing. Anyway, thanks a lot, Jared, for having this interview. We do appreciate you a lot for coming to this convention and to participate in our show. Good luck and continue on.
And I'm excited about your channel and everything, and so it looks good. Appreciate it. Thanks, guys.
Good. Hello, I'm with Dave over here. He just had his lecture over here. It was awesome. Although some difficulties in technical issues, but yeah, it was fine. It was great. Anyway, I got also a pretty good conversation with him right now about Israel stuff and Jewish stuff, and he actually knows a lot of things, and he can teach us Israelis a few things. First of all, Dave, how do you enjoy this convention?
Oh, it's actually been brilliant. Been meeting a lot of people that I've been to a few other conventions, and I've met a few of them. But it's like I'm filling in all the gaps, meeting all the other people, and it's been a great experience.
I saw your performance. It was kind of like enthusiastic. I don't know, you ran on the stage and everything, and it's kind of like artistic in some way or so. Do you put into some kind of mind to that, or just let it flow from your own character?
That's just me. I mean, because of one of the technical difficulties, I had a couple of minutes before they sorted out, so I did the whole hi, I'm a flat earther. I've been 5 years globe free. Just because I had time, so I was just being me.
I really liked the Obama sniper movie that you made. It was hilarious.
I made that years ago. It was when I was talking about the Coriolis effect. It was like, the ridiculousness of having to try and take it into consideration, because the calculation that would be involved would be immense. And no sniper sits there and says, oh, how much? Oh, yeah, okay, got that. And by the time they work that out, their target's gone, So that was the whole idea of it. Right.
Great. Tell us, Dave, a little bit. I want to get into the actual, I haven't talked about it with any of the other guests, about the Israelis, about the Israelites, whatever. We actually feel that we got a really big importance in this whole flat earth issue, because we do feel that our piece of land got through a lot of religious revolutions and lots of prophets that went through over there and gave their prophecy. And we feel that it's actually the Holy Land. And when we look at the future, we think that something big is going to happen regarding the flat earth over there. Do you have any, perceptions on that? Do you think this piece of land is some kind of unique in some way?
It's unique as far as the actual story in the Old Testament and stuff, but I'm afraid it doesn't concern you.
All right.
You know, it literally says in the book that, you know, the land will be in the end days will be trodden down by Gentiles. Yeah.
All right.
Hello. Sorry, I'm having to tell you the truth here. Yeah. The book tells us that in the last days the Israelites are going to wake up. You know, wake up in their captivity. Yeah.
Okay.
Out of their captivity, they're going to start to remember who they are, and they're going to remember the Most High. Yeah, and I think part of that remembering was or is the flat Earth, realizing that the lies are keeping them chained. Yeah, they're crumbling, and then you start to see the truth.
Anyway, Dave, it's really been a pleasure to speaking with you, and hopefully I will see you soon over here in this convention. And of course, wish us luck with all our new program of ESH news and everything.
Okay.
I want to ask you, one final question about this ESH thing. You know what is ESH?
Esh.
ESH is fire. Okay?
Oh yes,
It's
yeah,
fire.
Yeah, because you use the E.
Yeah, E is like earth, and sh is like shtucha,
Yes,
which is
I know,
flat
but
earth
I didn't
shtucha.
recognize because I don't deal with E's.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so yes.
So ash kind of like represents our fire when we coming into this, this our enthusiasm, our inner truth that speaks out and spreads out like fire. What is your fire? What motivates you to go and participate in these conventions and spread out your word?
Well, it's probably the same thing. It's that I've been researching truth for the last 15 years. I was at 9/11, so I watched it close range, and it took me 4 years to realise that it was staged. And then from then on, it was like putting together a jigsaw puzzle. Yeah. When you start putting some 9/11 puzzle pieces together, you find there's a couple of other pieces that lead off somewhere else. And so you start putting that together, and you find the monetary fraud. Then you find a new world order. Then you find a legal fraud. Then you find the medical fraud, and so on and so on and so on, until you start to see the big picture come into view. And I think I've got to the point where human history and the Old Testament is the big picture.
I say also always that the flat Earth is just a punchline.
Yeah, well, for me, it's one of the big puzzle pieces, and the fact that it's come along now at the end of days is not an accident. You know, it's like no other aspect of the truth has woken people up and got people questioning their reality, like flat Earth.
You're absolutely right about it. Dave, enjoy the rest of the convention over here and enjoy your stay in Amsterdam. And I'm surely going to speak to you further on today, tomorrow, and hear some more truth. Thanks a lot. Hello, we are here with Mr. Landucci from Argentina, from, what to say, city?
City of La Plata, 40 kilometers near Buenos Aires.
Okay, good to know. He's here in the Flat Earth Convention, came all the way from Argentina. Hear a little bit what he's doing over here and what he's actually focusing about.
Well, I'm a flat earther, of course. I born as like a globe guy, but right here I give a presentation. I participate in almost all international conference. The only one I lose was the New Zealand and the Canadian conference. I focus. My background in my life, I work doing computer graphics, computer animation, motion graphics. So 5 years ago, I started study the tricks that the space agency present us. And because I have that background, you can you realize immediately that there are just Hollywood tricks. When I never believed that the man land on the moon, but I never expect that the light will be so big. So I'm starting from that point of view, and right now I focus on the history background of the spherical Earth.
And you're like identifying all kinds of technical false things over there in these videos of NASA, right? For instance, from like the ISS, all the moon supposedly landing, stuff like that. Give me some kind of like example of some things that you...
Well, when you start, for example, if you're talking about the ISS, you have, if you go to the outside, if you want to analyze that kind of image, For example, the cloud never morphing. We have time lapse of 6-7 hours, and the clouds it's the same from coming here to this part of the video to this part. It passed like 2 hours, and the cloud is exactly the same. We don't have parallax. You know, in this big Earth, everything comes together. It's really easy. The best practice that you can make to understand this is to compare. So if you go to the 70s and you see what NASA present us as a spherical Earth from outer space, and you compare with 2015 images or video, you're gonna see like this is like a cartoon. And right now, because all the technology in terms of computer graphic advanced, they present that with aurora borealis and lightning storms and all that kind of thing. They say, where did this appear? Why that you cannot see that in the 2000s or in the 90s? So that is one thing. When you go inside ISS, you have all the tricks via cables. You know, the astronauts hanging on cables. They have a lot of errors in terms of the free fall planes, and you have a lot to study in those.
Very important question. Someone asked me a few days ago. NASA, with all our budget and everything, they can buy all the graphic designers in the world, okay? How come you can still see glitches, okay? Like if someone asked me, come on, someone has to go through this material tons of time before they air it and before they will see that there's like errors over there. How can this be that there's still errors with all this huge budget?
Well, that I like to see in maybe a few ways. First of all, in terms of social engineering, you don't want to involve a lot of people. If you start involving, people from regular computer studies studios, then you need to keep that lie. It's more difficult because there are not training people to keep lies. That is why if you go to the core of NASA, not the engineering, creating screws and wheels and I'm talking about the mission control. There are only a few hundred people, and it's all related in terms of family bloodlines. There are all participants of occulted lodges.
And they are keeping the secret.
Exactly, they are keeping the secret. And then they go to a perception in terms of visual communication. They do some kind of error on purpose to trying to say to your mind that this is regular stuff, regular video camera filming. We are not worried about the quality of our image. This is, for example, the glitches. That is something normally in streaming video, so in high quality streaming video. The strange thing is you have glitches just in the moving part. You don't have in the still part of the image. But for me, it's more deceiving when you start studying the Argos system. That was the system that NASA created in the early 60s to training in low gravity environment when the astronaut was hanging on cables. So they're still using that method. So there are a few videos that you can detect that, but when you start detecting that, it's like the other things, the other techniques you leave alone, because with that only understanding that techniques is enough to understand that NASA is lying.
Perhaps it's like, they started this lie 50 or more years ago, okay, with the graphics and everything. Maybe they got, lazy, old, kind of like neglecting stuff, and this is why we see all these errors?
Yeah, they are very confident in terms of how brainwash the people. So they could be a little lazy because they create this phenomena of creating heroes. The astronauts are heroes, are goddess. It's like God. They descend from the clouds, dressing in white, angel, in this kind of spaceship, dropping fire like a dragon. There is a lot of symbology, and they brainwash the world. So they are lazy because they don't expect they create fanatics in terms of outer space history or storytelling. So they are don't worry. But for me, it's a combination of lazy, and they don't want to involve, a lot of outside people.
Okay, got it. Very intriguing. Anyway, probably going to talk later on about this subject. It's very interesting. Just in general, do you have any, I know, anticipations, optimism about spreading the flat Earth word in the upcoming future, next few years or so? Do you think it's going to happen?
I think it's happening because if you go into the statistics, 5 years ago there was two flat earthers in modern concept. Of course, when you go to history, you understand that this topic never stopped. There was completely, the people all around the world in all kind of works and profession questioning the cosmology, because that is the most important topic for the human being. I mean, who or why we are here. And of course the Jesuit order start to infiltrate all the information of the Big Bang, and all the architects of the heliocentric, from Newton, Copernicus, Kepler, Galileo, they are all for Jesuit order. They don't even hide that. So we need to question that, and I am really not hopeless, and I want to say confident, because if you go to statistics from 5 years ago to now, how it's the most exponential movement that grows. So if you keep that line, it's gonna be a trouble for the system to keep quiet.
And then our life will be good, right?
Yes, completely.
Good. Anyway, thank you very much for participating in this interview and this convention. Do you have anything to say to our Israeli viewers that might, I know, expect great things from the flat Earth theory in general? Israelis are really sure that, I know, big things are going to happen in Israel that are going to erupt this flat Earth theory and stuff. Do you ever thought about it? There are lots of prophets that went through this land. It was an energetic junction and everything.
Yes, I know that, and I came from Argentina, and I know a lot of people all around the world, the flat world, around, and I believe the message for everyone is keep together and keep spreading the truth, and then leave us the divine energy guide us. It's just it doesn't matter what religion or part of the world you belong. We need to be together.
Good. Thank you very much again. Keep active and see you soon. Thanks. Okay, so we're here with Mark Devlin, sorry, from what I see over here. He's actually not really from the flat Earth, let's say, activist. He's more into the music business. He was a former DJ. I'll probably let him talk about it himself. But he's got a very interesting theories about control by music, and I'm actually very intrigued of what he has to say about it. First of all, nice to have you here on ESH News. Where are you from?
I'm from Oxfordshire, England, which is 50 miles or so outside London.
All right. And as I understood, you kind of fulfilled my lifetime dream to be a DJ. And so what do you do in this field? Is it your profession or hobby?
Well, it was, yeah. I've been a radio and club DJ for 30 years next year. And I no longer do it full time. It was my full-time job for about 20 years, and I made a reasonable living from it. I got to travel all around the world, had a pretty good lifestyle off the back of the DJing. But that all kind of went pear-shaped in around 2010, when I came to some realizations about what is really going on in this world and who's really controlling things. And that caused me to fall down about 500 rabbit holes, which I'm never going to climb back out of. And I started researching all kinds of different areas of information, coming to all these realizations and comprehensions which I'd never given any thought to before. And it really has changed my life. So 9 years later on, I'm doing some very different stuff now to what I used to be doing. I never thought my life was going to turn out this way. And if you told me 10 years ago I'd be doing all this and I'd be hanging out at conferences like this, I'd have told you were crazy. But here I am.
Good. Now, I'm really intrigued about the music, okay? Because I love music, everybody loves music, okay? But you say, and it seems that there's nothing harm with music, right? It's like naive and it only brings us joy and happiness to our life, right? But you say that there is some kind of like control even in that field. We usually like kind of used to control in politics, in media, in science, of course. Tell us about the music. What's the mechanism of the control over there?
Well, the opening blurb on the back of my book, Musical Truth Volume 1, reads, "To most people, the music industry represents a source of harmless fun and entertainment." And that's the way most people see it. So I think people would be more ready to accept that there's manipulation and there's mind control and there's social engineering going on in the worlds of politics or in the worlds of science or medicine or any of these things, the banking industry, the cancer scam industry. But when it comes to music, people think that all they're getting is that harmless fun and entertainment to help them unwind and relax after a hard day at work. And they just think they're rocking out to some favorite music and just chilling. So it's an ingenious way to get the mind control done under the guise of entertainment because people are off their guard and they're not expecting it to be done under that guise. But in actual fact, my research has shown that mind control through the music industry has been there since day one. And I would contend that the very reason for the corporate music industry being set up in the first place, taking it back to the 1950s, is because of the incredible opportunities that exist to affect the consciousness and the thoughts and the value systems of large numbers of people.
Now, I'm really intrigued if the control is being made only by like editing the kind of music they want to show to the public, or is it like technically in the music itself? Okay, they put like all kinds of like messages or stuff like that.
Well, it's all kinds of tactics that are used.
Yes.
So there's subliminal messaging which happens on a visual level. So you get symbolic things encoded into music videos, promotional photographs, record sleeves, dark occult symbolism, secret society, Freemasonic symbolism, mind control programming symbolism, all that is there. You also get it through many of the key players in the industry. I've got this concept that I discuss in volume 2 of the book of lifetime actors. And these are people that are in the public eye, they're celebrities, they're famous people, everyone's heard of them. Yeah, maybe. And we think of them as one thing or the other, so we think that they're a musician or they're a famous Hollywood actor or whatever it is, but the truth of the matter is that they're put out there on a public platform to have a controlling effect on the people that listen to what they say. So more control gets done via those methods. And then, as you say, in the actual music itself, in the composition of the audio, you can have all kinds of subversive stuff going on. So the talk I'm doing later today is titled The Weaponization of Sound. And I'm talking about how sound frequencies and all kinds of subversive influences can be embedded into recordings, particularly now that everything is done digitally and electronically. We live in an age now where all music is created on computers. There's very little live instrumentation anymore. So that gives incredible opportunities for all kinds of harmful influences to be put into this stuff. And when you look at who's really controlling these industries and what their objectives are, you come to realize that they don't have humanity's best interests at heart. They're all about the enslavement and the subjugation of humanity.
Intriguing. I will be in front row in your lecture, I believe, and I'm really fascinated by this subject personally.
I'd just like to say that there is a connection between the sort of stuff that I talk about and what we're hearing about today. The fact that we've been lied to about the very cosmology of where we live. We don't live on a spinning ball hurtling through space. Now, that mass deception has been perpetrated by the same groups and networks and organizations as run the entertainment industry. So the connection is that we're lied to all the time. Deception and duplicity is everywhere. Mind control is everywhere.
I always have this sentence that says, yes, there is a deception, but and the flat earth is only like the punchline, okay, of this thing, okay? It's only like the end of things, it's the thing that people like, I know, connect to because it's like so visual, okay? But the control and the deception is, of course, everywhere. One last question, Mark. We here, we broadcast this show in Israel and in the entire flat world, but have you heard about Israel and maybe like the last activism, or what do you wish Israel for its activity in the flat earth field?
Well, I'd not heard about it until you just explained it to me before this interview. I wasn't really aware of the high level of activism there is there. In terms of what I would wish for the people of Israel, it would be the same for what I would wish for the people of any country in the world. I'm all about transparency, I'm all about truth, I'm all about breaking down lies and deception. I hate lies, I always have. Whenever I discover a lie, I just want it gone and I want truth to shine through. So I would just hope that the people of your country would follow their hearts, follow their intuition, follow their spirituality, and let the truth lead them to wherever it takes them.
A little commercial for your books, maybe?
Okay, I've got 2 volumes of my book, Musical Truth. Volume 1 and Volume 2, they are available on Amazon. People can order them from there. But if you want to get one from me direct and cut Amazon out, people are welcome to email me.
Or maybe come over here to the convention and buy it out, right?
Sure.
Yeah, okay. Just a second. The production experts over here. Yeah, over here.
Excellent. There
Yeah,
you go.
so Magical Truth, worthwhile. I'm gonna buy it, yeah.
So my
Musical Truth.
website is markdevlin.co.uk, and
Again, please.
my website is markdevlin.co.uk, and I can be emailed from that.
Thank you very much, Mark. It's been a pleasure and lots of success in your interview and not interview, your lecture. And I'll be sitting front seat. See you later. Bye bye.
Hi, my name is Roxanne the Globalist Anaya, and I'm here at the Flat Earth Convention in Amsterdam. You can catch me on Truth Frequency Radio on Paul on the Plane, which is at 1 a.m. GMT. Here we go. And you can also catch me on YouTube at Roxanne the Globalist Anaya and Instagram as Roxanne the Globalist Anaya. And if that fails you, then contact me at operationrealness@yahoo.com.
Hello, we are here with Silvan. For all the Israelis over here that think it's Silvan, no, Silvan. I came over here to cover this Flat Earth Convention from a major newspaper that I won't even try to pronounce his name, please.
De Telegraaf,
Of course, to Telegraaf.
the largest newspaper in the Netherlands.
Oh, seriously? Okay. So why didn't they pick an easier name? Never mind. Anyway, tell us your impression over here in this Flat Earth Convention. Which kind of like people did you meet? What is your impression? And foremost, you kind of like declare yourself as the mainstream media, right?
Yeah. Well, if we're not the mainstream media, then who is? So some people are actually surprised, like, we didn't expect some major media outlets to appear here to talk to the people. And then the second question mostly is like, oh, you must be here to ridicule us, because that is what the mainstream media is doing all the time. But I'm not here to ridicule the flat Earth believers. I'm just interested in how they think, what their arguments are. And I have to say, I was a little bit disappointed from a scientific point of view of what I heard. The speakers here were mostly talking about some YouTube video they saw, some picture that they thought was faked, some video blog that they saw where. So I didn't really hear any signs that would convince me, because I could be convinced, obviously, that the Earth is flat, because I'm such a naive person that believes that the Earth is round. But I could be convinced, but I haven't heard any argument at all that could convince me.
Okay, that's fair enough. We still have a half a day, so so I believe that in the end of the day you'll come out of here flat earther totally. And just one question, kind of like interests me. Who sent you over here? Did you came on your own opinion? Did someone told you there's a flat Earth convention? What brought you over here?
We already brought a small news report about this convention taking place. Well, from a point of, there are still people that think that the Earth is flat. It's very interesting. How many people are there who believe that? How many are there in the US? How many are there in the Netherlands? And there's quite a lot of people that still have these ideas, and they seem to be somehow related to conspiracy theories, people that believe that 9/11 was a hoax, that there were no real moon landings, etc. So it seems like the same group of people that is more likely to also believe that the round Earth theory is wrong. And one question I ask a lot of these people, like, who is behind it? Who would you think is behind such a global conspiracy to make them
The mainstream media, of course.
Yeah, but I was sent here, so and they didn't. I mean, my boss didn't say like, oh, yeah, but you have to ridicule these guys because that's what we are being paid by this global conspiracy to mock these people. So you have to do this, and otherwise it won't be printed. No, I was just sent here by go talk to these guys and find out how they think and what their arguments are.
And tell me, I personally interested in that because I learned journalism, I learned media, and I'm kind of interested in what is the relation between forget flat earth for a moment, okay? All the conspiracy theories, they kind of present some kind of a truth from their eyes, and journalism has its role to present the truth from their eyes. So what is the relationship between media and conspiracy theories?
Well, that's a good question. Mainstream media obviously reports most about what most people think. Yeah. So most people in the world think that 9/11 was a terrorist attack by Al-Qaeda. But there's a group of people that believe that the United States were behind it, or some world government, something like that. And so we're also discussing that point of view. We're not saying, okay, this is the truth, but we are saying, okay, most people believe that this is the truth, and this is the minority view. And that also goes for a flat Earth theory, I guess. The majority of people obviously think that the Earth is a globe, and it's just a small minority, although bigger than I thought, that believes that the Earth is flat or dome or. So it's just interesting to hear their point of view and to see okay, maybe they have a point, and what are their best arguments? That was my main question here. What is your best argument? And if you believe that we are being fooled and we're being lied to all the time by the media, by the governments, by the universities, what is behind it? What are they trying to reach by brainwashing us into believing that the Earth is round? What is there to gain for them? And nobody has given me a proper answer to that.
Okay, we just need to wait, I guess, or not. So anyway, thank you very much. It's very refreshing to, I have some kind of interviews over here, and the whole flat earthers that are talking about flat earth. It's boring. Let me hear about what the mainstream media says. Anyway, so thank you very much. It's been a pleasure, Sylvain. Okay, and see you soon. Bye bye. Hello. Here we have.
My name's Adam Meakin, and I'm from Nottingham in the UK.
Oh, Nottingham. And I believe you have some kind of a nickname for you or your show or something like that?
Yeah, we're a bunch of guys from around the plane. So there's me in, like I say, in the UK. We've got a John Savage in the UK, and then guys in America. We've got Zach, Good Times for All, Josh, Corey, and Walt Johnson. And then we've got a guy called Rob in Australia. So we're a bunch of guys that met up a few years ago across Twitter, and then formed a YouTube channel.
It's called
Iron Realm Media.
Iron Realm Media. Okay.
Yeah, okay.
Where this name is coming from? What does it say? Or what is the concept?
The chemical symbol for iron is Fe. So I know you've got ESH for your symbols, but yeah, obviously Fe. So
it's good.
we took that. So
everyone should have a good slogan, right? Anyway, are you having fun over here in this convention?
Yeah. This is the second one. Obviously, we was at the UK convention and been here for a few days now, and it's fantastic meeting up with a lot more international folks. Guys from the States and guys from all over. You guys from Israel. So yeah, awesome.
I understood you kind of got a special field of interest in this whole flat earth, something that is involved pharmaceutical medicine, something like that. Am I correct?
Yeah. I mean, as well as a flat earth, this isn't just about trying to define the nature of the plane we live on, is it? It's a lot bigger than that. And part of our channel and part of our journey, my dad was diagnosed with prostate cancer, and I am a qualified pharmacist, and so obviously knowledge of cannabis oil came to us, and it was the decision we took to get Dad under a course, a 3-month Rick Simpson oil course. So
And that led you to, I don't know, kind of like getting connection between the two worlds of the pharmaceutical and flat Earth?
Well, it's very different in the UK, the pharmaceutical world. It's more about of spreading the message of what cannabis oil can do at the moment, and it's not directly through the profession. There is deregulation occurring in the UK with regards to CBDs, but no THCs. But obviously that's important with regards to anti-cancer treatment, the full plant. So, but we did that. My dad, I'm happy to say, is cancer-free. Was given the all clear, and this thing's stirring. Unfortunately, my best friend, his mum was diagnosed with cancer, both esophageal and lymphoid cancer. Given 10 months to live, and that was 14 months ago. No, probably 18 months ago now, actually. She was given the all clear as well after a similar 3-month treatment. So the results are out there, the real life stories there. But if you're looking for kind of real, verifiable data that the pharmaceutical industry uses, it's not there. The companies aren't investing in the testing. There's not the will to produce a drug that cures people, unfortunately, is there?
Okay, you see, the thing is that we are usually used to all kinds of like conspiracy and control, whatever, in politics, media, all kinds of like fields of life. I know industry, science. Or what can you tell us about control and maybe conspiracy in the pharmaceutical industry? It's very interesting. I haven't heard yet about it.
Well, I think the cancer treatment says it all. We've got a product that's available to cure people in a very short space of time, to reduce the overall drug burden any patient actually has given to them. There's research there that's currently anecdotal, but so many case studies of individuals saying it's occurring in different parts of the world, yet there is this drug that could be worth potentially so much, but they're not investing in it. And why? It's because you can grow it in your back garden. It's simple for us all to capture this plant and use its benefits.
Okay, good. And do you see any kind of like, are you an optimist guy, or you see some optimism in the future regarding either the pharmaceutical industry or maybe like the flat Earth? Do you think it's gonna go up and erupt, or something gonna happen in the next few years?
I think flat Earth hopefully is one of the keys. I used to be involved in a lot of other sort of civil common law movements and the likes, and when I got involved with the flat Earth movement, it is something that you do feel kind of strikes people and is quite empowering, and it's a strong message to kind of exemplify, if nothing else, how big the web of deceit is, and nothing exemplifies that better than the line about the shape of the place we live.
So it's all like connected.
I think if we can wake people up to this reality, and some of the engagement, we're hoping to get some done tomorrow in the square tomorrow, and the bit we've had has been positive, and I think when you engage with people one-on-one, that a lot of the prejudices that they have, and it's easy when they're trolling and like disappear, and as they engage with you and you discuss the topic as humans, which is nothing better.
Okay. Thank you very much. It's been a pleasure. Go enjoy the convention, and I'm going to see you soon.
Have a good day.
Hello everyone, we're here with Ruben from London, and he kind of like claiming to be a worldwide activist with Flat Earth, and really intriguing to see what he got to say over here. Hello Ruben, how do you enjoy your Flat Earth convention so far?
The convention's awesome. Hiya everyone, thank you. The convention's been amazing. This is the third one we've been to, and it's always great to see familiar faces, meet new people, do interviews with people as yourself. It's great. It's been an amazing experience.
All right. Tell us a little bit. You're known to be like an activist. Everybody here are activists in some way, but you do that on the ground, on the real life. Let's say that like that, yeah. Not on the media or Facebook or something like that. You are the one who got that actions should be done in real life, right?
Definitely.
So what do you do?
Well, I was inspired by a man called Del from Beyond the Imaginary Curve. He was the first person who I saw going out doing street activism, and I was inspired by him. And then John Smith Globeli also done the same thing. I think he was more dedicated to the activism, and that inspired me to get up and do the same thing. Ernest Pearson, also another person who inspired. So now what we do is we go to Speaker's Corner every last Sunday of the month, and we have banners and we have stickers and leaflets and stuff, and we explain to people just ask them, how much do you know about the ball Earth in which you believe you live in? And just ask them how far away is the sun and stuff like this. And they come to realize they don't know much. And so we give them the alternative, ask them if it makes sense. And seems
Do you get any objections in the speaker's corner?
Definitely. There's trolls that come specifically just for us. We've seen it before. And it seems to be an emotional subject, especially among men. When you bring up dinosaurs, space is not real. Straight away, it's very confrontational.
It hurts their masculinity or something like that? Yeah?
Ego and pride get involved. A woman, from what I've noticed, a woman's more intuitive. They try to think about it and they're like, oh, I haven't heard that before. A man is more, I know everything, and that's where the issue lies. So ego aside, pride aside, just come and do the science, testable, measurable, repeatable experimentation. This is how we can prove that we don't live on a ball. But yeah, the activism any way and every way we can. This is the front line of Flat Earth is activism.
Yeah, I do agree with that, because I think that nothing is going to go nowhere if we all going to stay on Facebook and they write posts.
Censorships, algorithms, YouTube are locking down channels. Martin Leakey, one of the most incredible researchers we have, they've shut down his channel twice in the last 2 weeks or something, They're fighting us hard. So activism, you cannot stop the activism. You cannot have an algorithm in place. You cannot censor us. This is real life, So this is the best place to do it, I think.
Yeah, and it's also like a matter that involves everyone and every kind of it touches every subject that you have in life, like politics, media, and whatever. One last question, probably our Israeli viewers would like your perspective on that. We are experiencing a big awakening in the last half a year or so in Israel regarding Flat Earth. I personally feel that there is a special thing regarding this land because of its history, all the prophets, all the religious revolutions that happened over there. What is your perspective on that, if you have any, if you checked it out in some kind of way?
I haven't. I'm glad to hear that it's moving a lot around the world, because I do feel there are certain cultures, communities and stuff that haven't yet heard about this. Like yesterday we bumped into a couple from London who hadn't heard about it, and I thought it's quite mainstream nowadays, a lot of people have heard it, but to hear that you guys in Israel are on it, this is brilliant. This is what we need more of. We need more independent people like yourselves being honest in their research and looking into this, because if I'm not mistaken, I believe every holy book says that the Earth is the flat, motionless center of the universe, from what I've seen. So I think it's great. We need more people of culture doing this, most definitely.
Thank you very much, Ruben. Ruben?
That's fine.
I will call you Reuven, like we're saying in Hebrew, okay?
Is it going to be on TV, on Israeli TV?
Probably on YouTube or something like that, and we'll let you know, of course. Thank you very much for your call. Hello, we're here with the guy that actually presented me with this lovely sticker of the aarde is plat.
Exactly, the aarde is plat.
Good. This guy over here is an activist with Flat Earth, joining us in this Amsterdam convention. Tell us your name, what you do, life in general, whatever.
Yeah. I'm Arkil de Hoop, and I'm actually a motion graphic designer. So, yeah, in a way, when I start doing a lot of motion design, you also created a lot of globes. And that is a big question mark, because you can then create reality in a way. But is it reality? No, it's just animation. And that's what I found really funny. I do make a lot of globes in a way, but then the globes are all not real in a way. And that's what started me also in a way of thinking, is the reality what we are presented, is that real or not? So
for us personally, we got also a personal business that we got globe pictures on the website.
Yeah.
Once discovered Flat Earth, everything went down. meaning like we just started to erase all the pictures from the website.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that is actually what is going on sometimes.
Mind,
Yeah, it's a mind control thing, and I think, well, if you just feel and if you just look when you're in a plane or on a mountain or just at sea, it doesn't feel like it's rotating. You see a flat plane, so from there on, you can just put questions mark everywhere. And yeah, what I try to do is just to make people aware and making them ask their reality. Just put questions marks, and that's the beginning of your reality.
And this is your way of activism from your perspective, right?
Yeah, I think because if you start to preach what it is, then actually it doesn't work. You should be open and yeah, just make people move in a way that they should research it for themselves. I think that's the best way to activate.
Do you have any, I know, optimistic thoughts about the future, whether people or not will gonna discover the flat Earth eventually? Is it going to be as a worldwide thing, whatever?
Yeah, I have a hope that more and more people are becoming aware of this. And on the other hand, things goes as it goes. You know, we are living here in a created field, a dualistic field, if I can say that. There is darkness, there is happiness all around, and things goes as it goes. And the sun is constantly moving forward, and in that way, we'll just see what happens. You do just your thing, what feels good. I saw a presentation of Karen B, for example, and your heart is just beating. If you just follow your heart, if you can listen to your heart, then everything is okay. Everything is what it is.
So things are going to be good.
Yeah.
Good. So with that thought in mind, be good and be good for yourself and for other people. Research flat Earth. Do some nice Dutch stickers.
And de aarde is plat.
And learn Dutch. No, don't do that. It's complicated. So, Yanni, tell us how long you're standing here. Yanni, how long you're standing here?
Today?
Yeah.
Since we got here.
All right.
Yeah.
Going good so far?
Sorry?
Going good so far?
Yeah, it's going great. Yes. Yeah. Lots of people, a lot of people coming all over the place around here.
Okay.
Got some
objections, support, anything?
Support with herself.